everyone, welcome back to more Flesh and Bad. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about Zen. So Zen is actually getting pretty close to LL at this point. With the last three events we saw, I think first place finishes from all Zen's. So it's Ballard, Houston, Kuala Lumpur, and Wellington. And if we look at the Living Legend leaderboard, that puts him at basically plus 100 points. So 50 from the calling, 2 times 25 from the Battle Harden. And that gives him an extra bump here, so putting him at about 840. So he's basically like kind of near the top at this point, which is pretty interesting. We also have like some of kind of like the older heroes like Viserai getting like 300 points this season. Enigma, uh, disgusting amount of points. And then New also like picking up some points and like Florian and stuff. But anyways, that is getting pretty close to LLing, and I think that there's still actually like a lot of variety in the deck list. So if you guys were watching like Kuala Lumpur, we saw kind of like the wax on wax off package, which I think is potentially overrated. But again, I see a lot of people running it, especially with like yellow wax on. And that's kind of what I want to try today. So to make room for the wax on wax off package, because again, I don't think you want to main deck this package. We do need the cosmics in here to kind of like swap out for these, as well as like the warmongers. So these three blues are basically kind of like flexing with each other. And then the wax on wax ons kind of like come out for a lot of your like 2 blocks, like Thunder Wind, Spinning Wheel Kick. I've heard rumors that people even cut like Maul and Key potentially for like these as well, which somewhat makes sense. Um, but yeah, this is kind of what we're gonna test out today. Again, I think the wax on wax off package is like really only good into like Aurora and New at this point, but I don't know. Like wax off itself, I think is only really good into Aurora in my personal opinion. But again, yeah, so we've tested the wax on wax off package a lot on this channel, and I wanted to give it another shot today to see how it goes. Again, I am kind of a hater. I'm not like the biggest fan of this package, but again, it has been performing well at the very highest levels, so it's worth giving another shot. So let's go ahead and get to some games. All right, we got a Viserai. I generally like going first in a Viserai, 8v1, bring in our Warmongers. Cut spinning is probably fine, and then even like board like this, I think just having the extra blue count's probably worth it. Let's go ahead and try this. Okay, pretty nasty hand to start it out with. Oh wait, actually I forgot we don't have Passover. Okay, so not actually a nasty hand. Let's go ahead and just send I don't even know if I want to filter here. I think I'm just gonna pass. We'll Arsenal Windchakra here, I guess. I always get got by Passover on turn 0. It's never gonna like not get me. Alright, we see a Rune Chant, Dread Triptych, Deadwood Dirge. It's all fine so far. Alright, become the Arknight. What are we getting? Discarding a Ninth Blade, getting what? Getting a Read the Runes? Sure. Not a bad turn 1. So this looks like more like Rune Chant Stacky Viz. Let's go ahead and banish Ninth Blade, I guess. I don't think it really matters. Let the Windchakra resolve, get our chase, do our thing. Pretty much just gonna send the whole hand at them. Playing the Breed Anger here first, I guess. I don't think it really matters. Might matter like slightly for Shuko breakpoints, I guess, because we get the extra 1 after this Tiger. Or on this next Tiger, basically. Looks like our opponent's also like fat decking slightly, which is kind of interesting. This is a pretty good hand from us. They did have a pretty good start themselves, though, with 8 Rune Chants. So they're also not in a terrible spot as well. All right, go ahead and pass it back. Got the chi in the deck. We got our Sacred Art. All right, then we have an Amplify for 9 plus 8 Rune Chance. I think we're just racing here because our hand is like actually really good for a 4-card hand. Like we could Zen state this, but I think it's actually better to just send our hand than to actually like try to prevent any of this. So let's go ahead and take it. Not really at risk of succumb here as well, so I'm less incentivized to block. All right, start off with the Biting Breeze. Then play Sacred Art. If it hits, we get another basically 1 damage. All right, looks like they're letting it hit. I am A-okay with that. Go ahead and Sacred Art, gain our resource, and then start with the Banished Tiger, I guess. I think we might be tutoring for Swipe here, because at least forces blocks. Then we maybe hold on to a Tiger just in case of like face Purgatory. Actually, I guess we should Tiger first. Then if they want to face Purgatory, this we like discard the Tiger, but I don't imagine they're gonna face Purgatory a 1-cost attack. Alright, send the Swipe. So this is basically threatening like 3 extra damage. Okay, I do love to see that armor block. Alright, go ahead and just pass back. Pretty good hand for making a Zen state if they want to try to go all in. But this hand also just blocks 12 by itself, which is kind of crazy. Alright, they want their Amplify the Arcanite back for some reason. Interesting. Not necessarily the target I think you want to get, but they don't really have a ton of options here. I think normally I see this getting Gloomveil. Okay, there's Condemned to Slaughter, which again is part of the reason why I think you want to make reactive Zen state as opposed to proactive Zen state. So we can actually just Path of Travel drop this. We're not going to even make a Zen state here. I'm just going to gain the resources so we can pay for the Rune Chance, and it seems like they probably had about enough about that. Yeah, because our hand next turn is basically just not... We can even Cosmic if we wanted to. I didn't even see that. Yeah, just Cosmic for 20 then. Kind of gross. Alright, Jarl game. I think I generally like to go second to Jarl. They do have the option to like set up a bunch of auras, but again, I think it's fine. We'll board out the Tiger Eye reflexes because I don't think they're super impactful. I think we just run it as is and see how it goes. Alright, opponent is looking like more of like an icy build, potentially. Olin Ice Cap. Pretty interesting card. I have not played a ton around with this because I think Crown of Providence is just super high value. It's definitely interesting. It's kind of like another Stalagmite effect. Our hand's a little bit awkward here with the double Chase the Tail. Oh, they're fat decking as well. Interesting. I wonder if this is like a CYB Jarl. Could be. Could very easily be. Alright, we see them get the first counter with the Expose the Element, which is pretty good for them. I think this card's actually like not bad as like 1 of or 2 of in certain matchups. Revealing an Earthfloor Surge, and then... Oh, wow. Alright, trying to go for... So they need to fuse that, unfortunately. Notably, it's kind of smart of them to not fuse an ice card because it denies his filtering. Pretty good for them. So this is kind of going to be a little bit of a sad transcend, but I think it's still good enough. So we'll go ahead and get Aspect here. They could easily like stuff this turn though, which is kind of concerning. What do we get here instead? I don't actually think we go for Chase Aspect because it's very face up that they can Stalagmite this, and they also have Olin. So I think the play is actually just swipe and have like kind of like a middling turn and Arsenal Chase. Seems more reasonable. Let's do Gogan here. they want to Blizzard us, I think we're fine with that. So this is why we play around Stalagmite, because again, if we tutor for Aspect, we would basically not have a turn. Go ahead and play out the Tiger for 0. If they want to give us equipment to give us another Frostbite, I think I'm fine with that. We basically block 4 damage, which is not terrible, but not amazing. Alright, they do have a sink here. Sure. So not a bad turn from us, because we do just get a Chase at the Tail in deck. We keep drawing Chase the Tails, which I don't think is exactly what I want, but it's okay. So let's see if we can... We might actually just want to pop... Oh, right. They have Frozen Death, so we're probably not going to be able to pop Traverse, which is a little bit unfortunate for us. So we basically never got the chance to use it. A little bit unfortunate, but is what it is. Okay, so they are off to a pretty decent start. So let's go ahead and start with levels, pitching, pouncing. I guess we'll just do go again. So definitely not a bad start for them. All right, they're going to give us 2 Frostbites. Oh, I didn't even... I guess you can do that with Stalagmite. That's kind of funny. Sure. So now, what do we want to do? We can't Maulin Key or Chase Tail, unfortunately. Could not Kakara. I guess we just pass here. Sure. Definitely a pretty annoying start from them, and they do also have Summon active, which is kind of cool. But they've used a lot of their resources to try to, like, do this effectively. Right, we see a Channel Mount Eisen, that's fine. These hands have also not been super great. Alright, we see a Polar Blast, which will not give us an additional Frostbite. Do I want to prevent Dominate? Probably not. I mean, they could, like, CNC us, which would be annoying, but I don't think it's worth giving up a card to do that. All right, Tectonic, and then what's the final card? Crumble, sure. So they're getting a lot of our equipment early, which is kind of unfortunate. And our hands have been like so clunky that we're basically not even able to really do a whole lot. We could just send Chase the Tail for 4. Is that really the best play here? It might honestly be. Yeah, I guess so. Just pitch chases, I guess. I don't know. It's been a rough start, for sure. Like, the early expose plus Frozen to Death combo is pretty rough. They're also giving us a lot of equipment early, so we're not making a ton of progress on the life total. Alright, they do get dominated off this Crumble, which could be scary. We are still at 40 for what it's worth, but, like, kind of just an annoying game more so than anything. Like, not a ton of interaction so far. Although I assume this is probably going to be like a mangle here. Which eating our Shuko is also pretty bad. Yeah, unfortunate. They already flourished too. That's kind of an interesting card. Alright, let's go ahead and just give them a Shuko because they're going to break it anyways. Not much of a choice here, fortunately. Could have also considered blocking a little bit more, but I don't know. I think here we're just going to send Kakara and then send CNC. It's probably the optimal Jarl start if you could, like, kind of craft one. Because you have the early expose, you have the Frozen Death to break Traverse, basically without kind of without attacking, basically. And then you find Crumble plus Mangle to kind of like just dominate a big thing over. So pretty ideal. I guess we will just punish them for the quick get, or I guess, yeah, I guess it's fine. I guess we can send 9 here as opposed to CNC. Maybe that's okay. All right, blocking with a buckling blow, that's fine. Sure. No one just some Braid for 4. Having some very red heavy hands have been kind of unfortunate. Go ahead and pass back though. All right, this is looking a lot better. All right, against Winter's Bite though, what do we want to do? So we could actually pass over and prevent the counter here. It's kind of interesting. So let's go ahead and do that, I think. We'll pass over, I guess, Stalagmite. I don't think it matters. I want to do this to get our Kasaya resource. Get a resource, so we don't have to discard here. I think it's important. Pay 1 to avoid it. All right, then they're going to set up an Earthlore Empowerment, which is pretty good if they want to be a lot more aggressive. It's kind of cool. And then here, I think we're just going to go for like a chase. They shouldn't have a ton of other ways to make Frostbites, like other than Blizzard, which we have not seen any of, but we can at least pay into it if we need to. Here we'll just attack with Aspect, I guess. We can still pay into... Oh, actually, we can't even pay into Blizzard here, so maybe we probably shouldn't even cast this. I guess if they Blizzard, I feel like they would have done it earlier. Maybe. Could get punished for this for sure. All right, we'll do Banish Tiger. Then I guess spinning. Arsenal Tiger. All right, I assume they have a pretty good hand. Playing out another Earthlore Surge, okay. Not bad. Or this is Earthlore. Okay, these are 2 different cards. Never mind. Okay, so they're coming in for 1 million here. Okay, destroying equipment with 1 or less base. So ain't no way we're blocking this. So I guess they also eat our Pouncing Paws, which is unfortunate. Pretty interesting build though, at least. Yeah, I guess we just let them have it. Although, actually, sorry, we could block with this. So I guess there is some reason to block with it. So block with our Pouncing Paws here, just get our 1 value. But then we are taking 17, which is a little bit scary. All right, go ahead and start with Kakara. It's definitely an interesting deck list. Just break all the equipment. Pretty good. It's interesting that they're running over 60 because, like, I don't think with this version of the deck list do you ever go to fatigue because you have so many, like, big pumps, basically. All right, then we'll do Tiger. Debating whether or not I want to send Aspect versus Underwinds. I feel like I probably just want to send Underwinds. Because there's like a non-zero chance that we just draw into Chi. So then we can play our last Chase the Tail, so Aspect gets a lot more value. Alright, we'll go ahead and pass. Alright, we do draw into Chi. So not a bad hand, but again, a lot of it's going to depend on what they do. Alright, Buckling Blow, I don't think we really care about. Like, if they want the last piece of armor, I think that's fine. And this only puts a counter on it, so, like, we still have it. So, I think this is okay. We're just going to try to send the hand at them. I think this has kind of been, like, a little bit of, like, a frustrating game just because of their, like, kind of early start. But we're kind of able to pivot off a weak turn here, hopefully. So let's get our Chase the Tail. We'll do draw go. Hope we draw into like a blue just to kind of like play around Blizzard, hopefully. All right, we do find another blue. It's also a pretty good blue because we can actually like give go again and then gain another resource for this turn, which is not bad. We are going to be sending a lot of damage this turn as well, plus a CNC. So I think this is fine. I feel like they are sitting on a Blizzard because they have some kind of like instant, I feel like. Could just be another Exposed though. Alright, we'll do Tiger next, I feel like. It's a little bit of an interesting spot. Because I feel like if we go for the Path Well Traveled... So the Gogen's already resolved, so we can actually Path Well Travel now. I guess, right? And they can't, like, they can't Blizzard and make this Tiger that's already resolved lose Gogen. So I think that kind of makes sense. Then we can pay for Blizzard Frostbite and still CNC or Kakara. So I think the timing there is a little bit interesting because if we Path Well Traveled, we still have 2 floating, I guess, so we can pay into the Blizzard. Then we make a resource, pay for the Frostbite. I guess it doesn't really matter a ton. All right, we have a Seeds here. That's fine, I think. Go ahead and send the Kakara and then finish on CNC, which is mostly just damage at this point. Kind of curious if they are on like CYB or something, because this list is very, very interesting. So this CNC will demand at least 1 card from them, so they can still Stalagmite us, or Summit us rather. But I think that's okay, because Summit kind of sucks anyways. Their list is like very interesting so far though. Like I think they almost had us there basically, just kind of off the back of like the really good expose the elements early and the crumble early. Right, double transcend is good. Do love to see that. Unfortunately, we can't actually use it to like pay into this Winter's Bite, which is not the worst thing in the world. So what do we want to do here instead? Could discard Mauling or pitch Mauling. Kind of an interesting spot here. I guess we will pay 1 because it doesn't really matter either way. And then I think we're actually just like gonna Kakara. We could actually just CNC and then Arsenal drop. Seems reasonable. So let's go ahead and just pitch Mauling. And I guess do we want drop or stir? I think stir actually might be better. So let's go ahead and just send CNC. This could be awkward if they have reacts in hand. And it does demand 2 cards. We could definitely still lose from this position, but their start was kind of insane. If you kind of look at it, they basically broke like 3 equipment in the first 5 turns. Without us being able to do like pretty much anything of it. Like I think there might be something here to like the Earth Lore plus Colossal strat. It seems very interesting. All right, looks like the 2 blocks are potentially coming to bite them a little bit here. All right, Arsenal or Stir. So you'll get to double transcend if they try to go for a Stir the Pot, and we also have 6 block in hand for Summit. So I think we're pretty set here. All right, so we'll go ahead and we could actually not block Summit if we wanted to. I think I'm fine just playing it safe here. Like, I don't know how we lose from this position, but I don't know. I guess Blizzard is maybe like the lose con. I don't know what that is though, because we still take 2 cards out of there. I don't. It's kind of interesting, I guess. I don't even know if they're on Blizzard though. They have to be on Blizzard, right? We haven't seen one yet. All right, activate Zen. Get Balling. This will strip a card. This should strip the last 2 cards, and then we're sitting on Chi with a 5-card hand, so we should be pretty set as long as we draw into like a playable blue. And this is why I feel like Summit is not a good card, because you get so far ahead in terms of tempo, and then you just have to like pitch into Summit and send 6, which is just like awful. I don't know. All right, they do have a sink though to cover, which is fine. This hand should be lethal though. I think even through Blizzard, this hand's lethal. Ooh, we also see the Big Bop. Okay. A lot of interesting spicy cards in this list. Gain our resource. Activate. We'll get a 1 cost here, although I don't think it really... I guess we can get like a spinning. Play out the spinning. Maybe do 2, 1, 4, 3. Yeah, lots of 2 blocks coming to bite them here, I think. A little bit. I guess it doesn't really matter either way with the breakpoint. I think the writing is on the wall here. Arctic Incarceration also interesting. Include. I did try this out, I think, initially. Let's go ahead and take a look at their deck list because I'm kind of curious. This is one of the spicier, I think, one of the spicier Jarl lists I've ever seen. So we got Arctic Incarceration, we got Flourish, which is next time I attack we gain. Okay, so like you got the buffs and then you got the Flourish. Okay, I see the vision here. Then we got Crashdown, Earth Lore Empowerment, Earth Lore Surge, which is also pretty good. And then you just swing with like Colossal Bearing. It's kind of a spicy list. Like I think this is actually like kind of scary because you can just break the equipment like pretty often. I don't know, definitely a fun list for sure. But again, competitively viable remains to be seen. Again, I think Jarl lists have a lot of variety in what they can do now because the card pool is so big. Oh, Entwine Ice. If this was fused against Dominate. Interesting. Curious about that as a blue too, because that's just an elemental. So wait, are we not running like CL? We are running CLF. Interesting. Is it just 1 CLF though? I think it's just 1 CLF. That's wild. CLF is like the best card in this deck. Alright, let's play against the Katsu. I think they actually coded the new card on Talishar, so I'm kind of interested to see how it goes. I think we definitely want our wax on, wax off package. Maybe cutting spinning wheel kick as well. And then I think we also like probably want to trim down like 100 wins kind of stuff. I think this seems pretty good. Maybe like One E Strike can also go. I feel like I recognize this name from somewhere. I think I'll like maybe the Discord or YouTube or something. So good luck, have fun. Let's see how it goes. All right, find the Ancestral Harmony early. Do we want to just play it out? Dig a little deeper in the deck. I think that's kind of reasonable. All right, hit a Wind Chakra, which again I think is fine. Here I'm kind of incentivized to like hold on to the CNC. I don't want to give them filtering necessarily. I could just send Underwinds for 2, but that also seems kind of like whatever. I'll send it for 2. I think it's fine. This could be threatening Transcend theoretically. So it might disincentivize them from filtering. Here, I think we're just going to Arsenal our Wax On and pass. We do find the early Wax Off, which I guess is pretty good against Katsu. The only problem, I guess, here is that they start with Kodachis. So, like, I don't actually even know if this is all that good. It's, like, fine. They are on Mask of Momentum, notably. Okay, we do see the Surging Strike. I feel like I'm just going to double Wax On, double Wax Off. Or Wax On, Wax Off that. Seems pretty alright. Oh, pass reacts. And then do we want to pre-flip this? Probably. No. No resource game. Alright, and then they're finishing off Fluster. No go again. Fluster is actually notably really good with that new card. That's pretty cool. So Fluster coming in for 3. I think we're going to let it hit. Again, we're not threatening Mask or anything, so it's fine. If they want a Katsu trigger, that's okay, I think, as well. So they are going on an Arsenal, so notably here, I think we want to try to get a 1 cost. So we get like a Breed Anger here, which is not bad. Yeah, Breed Anger here seems pretty alright. Breed Anger into CNC. Pitching our Key Unleashed. Off to a pretty decent start. Although notably they do have a Flick Flag, which is going to cover our CNC pretty well. Does this mean we want to pivot? Potentially. I feel like we now want to just hold on to the CNC because it seems pretty likely that they're going to be able to block 5 on it. So maybe like sending in the 3 damage is actually more worthwhile. Or the 4 damage rather. Yeah, so they could have easily like blocked 5 and given equipment there. So we're not actually like really threatening anything with the CNC. So we'll just park that in Arsenal. And this hand is gas. Okay. Problem with this hand is that we'd have to play this to flip, which is not ideal. Looks like they're maybe just filtering this. So I think here we actually just want to pop Traverse and then just sandbag this Chi, or like save this Chi for next turn, I think is probably the play. I think getting a Chi now is actually kind of worthwhile, just so it like enables our Tiger stuff. So let's go ahead and activate Zen. Again, it's kind of awkward here because we already have like the chase aspect, so I guess we're just getting like a 0 cost, which is fine. I guess it's probably just pouncing key. Yeah. And then we will start with Tiger. I guess another option was just blocking with pouncing pause there, and then we didn't need Traverse. That might have actually been better. Yeah, I think that's better now that I think about it. Because then we can like just pitch the Biting Breeze and then just send the full chase aspect line instead of like tutoring for it. Ooh, Break Tide is spicy though. Alright, they are blocking pretty early here, so I'm hopeful that the CNC actually connects. Seems like it might. Yeah, it looks like we might get some really good value out of the CNC. Alright, so it looks like it's going to take their card in Arsenal, which is the Retrace Fast. Okay, that's the new card that we're playing with. Okay, it looks like we're just going to have another chase aspect next turn. Kind of disgusting, but that's why I make the videos, right? Just have disgusting double G hands all the time. Notably, one thing, like, Zen's gonna LL at some point, so Katsu will probably be, like, a lot more playable once that happens. I'm debating if Waxon is even good in Katsu. It's, like, okay. I think it was, like, alright there. But these hands have been kind of disgusting, if I'm being honest. Alright, we see the Gust Wave, which also makes sense. I think this card also gets a lot better with that card. I'm actually pretty excited to try out the new Katsu. He's one of, like, I think... So my first 3 heroes in the game, I think I started on the 5 Blitz deck. And then afterwards, I started, like, picking up Bravo when he was, like, semi-playable. But then I think Katsu was, like, the 3rd hero I played after, like, Bravo was kind of, like, mid for a while. I think that was, like, around when, like, Dromai was there, so I'm kind of excited to try the new Katsu stuff. Especially if, like, Zen LLs in the near future, which it kind of looks like he will. Okay, this is, like, the first mid-hand we've kind of drawn into. So I think this is fine. I think we're actually going to use Pouncing Paws here to just unbrick. Again, unfortunately not showing off, like, the real strength of this card. Alright, so ideally don't want to let Surging Strike hit. We could just, like, block 5 on this. We could also just let it hit. But then they get Whelming. If they get Whelming, do we care, though? Probably not. Then it's actually just easier to block. Well, it's not easier to block the Whelming because they do have the breaking scales. So it's kind of interesting here. I think I'm actually just going to let this hit and see what they have. Because, like, it gives us more information about their hand. Because they could also just play out, like, a Whelming Gust Wave after this, theoretically. Okay, it was an E-Strike, so did give them a bit of value by not blocking this, but again, we can just block the next thing. I think it's fine. So I think we're actually going to be incentivized to cover it with the Pouncing Paws here and then wax on it. Just so we play around breaking skills. Like, I don't want to give them the 1 extra hit over, which basically will draw them 2 cards. So I think this is a little bit heads up here. Again, they are getting a lot of mileage just out of the threat of breaking skills as opposed to the card itself. Pretty good. Alright, here we're just going to send a lot of annoying breakpoints. And then Arsenal Molenki, I think, is the plan. I don't think I managed my resources the best this game, if I'm being honest, though. Like, I think blocking with Traverse there was wrong. I think we should have just, like, blocked with Pouncing Paws and then used it like that, and then used Traverse for a future hand. Let's go ahead and Breed Anger here. This deck has been blocking pretty well, though. Like, I think this is, like, almost all 3 blocks at this point. Yeah, no 2 blocks yet. So, pretty spicy. Normally, Katsus do not block incredibly well. Or maybe a part of that is just kind of like the armor. Oh yeah, one thing about the new card is that the Lord of the Winds line does get a lot better. Like the Mugenshi line. That's pretty cool. That was... I don't think that line was, like, ever good. But it is cool to see people playing it again. Here, I think we're just over-pitching a little bit. Let's pitch the Key Unleashed, I guess, because it's probably the most funky card. Then I guess we're, like, holding on to Molenki and this. So a little bit of a brick hand here, but not the end of the world. Alright, they are going to block with Breaking Scales and the Viserai Boots, so potentially a scary next turn coming in. Yeah, this hand was not great. Arsenal Tiger Swipe. This hand is a little bit better, though. Alright, Ancestral Harmony. Okay, we have a gamer on our hands. Pretty good. Spinning the pick. We could just end state this if we wanted to. I don't think that's terrible. I guess the question is, like, how much damage are they going to be able to threaten this turn? I don't think we block the spinning wheel kick. I think we just probably let them see what happens. Although, alternatively, we can block, like, 6 on it. And that does prevent them from filtering a bit. It's definitely an interesting spot. I feel like we'll just let them tutor, and I think that's okay. They are also running Descending Gust Waves, which is pretty spicy. I think I'm just kind of fine to see what this is, because I feel like if I'm blocking this turn, I mostly want to just try to deny mass triggers, and then if they want to, like, fix their hand, I think it's probably fine. Alright, so they do get rid of a Fluster, getting another spinning wheel kick, which again, I don't think is, like, the most threatening thing in the world against us. So I don't think we're blocking this either. Alright, we see one floating. Third spinning wheel kick? Okay. That is better than nothing, I guess. So we do want to block this for mass trigger purposes. So I think the line is actually probably just to do this. They can, like, empowerment this and then draw 2 cards or effectively, but I think it's fine. Yeah. Triple spinning wheel kick is pretty funny though. Let's go ahead and just Sacred Art though. Should probably just lock down the game. Yeah, seems like it. Ooh, Fine Center is also really cool. This is a cool deck. So we got like Mugenshi, Break Tide, Lord of the Winds. Pretty good. I'm gonna try something like this at some point. We also have Rising Knee Thrust. I wonder what that's for. Oh, I guess you can name it off of Retrace? Okay, there's some spice going on in here. I don't know exactly what all this stuff does, but like Retrace the Past is a very interesting card. I don't know. I'm very excited to try out this deck at some point. Probably after Hunted drops and stuff. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good spot to end it for today. Thank y'all for watching. Again, Wax On was like Wax On, Wax Off is kind of like okay here, but not like I don't think this is like the silver bullet that necessarily like wins you all your Zen games. I think it's like very specifically good into Aurora, but like not even that good. Like you can still get by without even lining it up. So it's not even like that big of a I don't know, of a boon into Aurora, I guess. Yeah, but I think that's gonna wrap up the testing for today. Again, not incredibly sold on the Wax On, Wax Off package, but again, it has been performing well, so we should probably give it another look at least over the next couple days. And thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.